Back in 2019, DepEd unveiled the Sulong Edukalidad strategy framework to confront the declining proficiency of learners and improve competence of teaching force. The Sulong Edukalidad is a banner program for education quality require a plan that will execute its objective. To translate the priorities under Sulong Edukalidad, DepEd developed a long-term plan popularly known as the Basic Education Development Plan 2030. The Basic Education Development Plan 2030 is the Philippines' first long-term plan for basic education covering formal education and non-formal education for youth and adults. The plan is designed to address the immediate impacts of pandemic on learning, participation and education delivery, improve education quality, address the remaining access gaps, and build resilience among learners and personnel. The Basic Education Development Plan will be implemented in time when the new DepEd leadership comes in July 1st, 2022. The plan to continue the goal of the department that all Filipinos can realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to a cohesive nation through the protection and promotion of the right to quality education. The challenges that were identified in the basic education sector analysis can be classified as issues in access and efficiency, quality, and governance. For access and efficiency, the issues were the incremental increase in participation that is yet to reach universal access, the prevalence of out-of-school children and youth, and the lack of data on the universal groups in situations of disadvantage. Issues that involve the quality of education are highlighted by the tests conducted at various stages of K-12, particularly on the results on reading and numeracy, the inadequate coverage of 21st century skills in teaching affecting test performance results, and girls outperforming boys in attendance and learning proficiency. Both access to education and quality of education are also affected by the learning environment and the learner's experience of joy in this environment. In the governance aspect, vertical and horizontal integration in program management at the different levels of DepEd needs to be strengthened, including the need to build the capacity of DepEd field units on contextualization of program implementation and strategy execution involving quality assurance, technical assistance provision, education planning, monitoring and evaluation, and program management. There is also a need to strengthen the complementarity between public and private schools and strengthen support to the private sector. In response to the challenges and issues identified in the BESA, the BEDP puts forward 4 priority development areas. First, pivoting to quality, ensuring that all learners attain learning standards in every key stage in the K-12 program. Second, expanding access to education for groups in situations of disadvantage to ensure inclusive and equitable quality service delivery. Third, empowering learners to be resilient and to acquire life skills. And lastly, strengthening the promotion of the overall well-being of learners in a positive learning environment where learners exercise their rights and experience joy while being aware of their responsibilities as individuals and as members of society. In the BEDP, Filipino learners are envisioned to be holistically developed in basic education, acquiring 21st century skills that will enable them to manage oneself, build connections, inquire, innovate, stay nimble, and serve beyond self. They must take pride in Filipino national identity and nationhood and aspire to flourish and have life skills, economic prosperity, socio-political stability, unity in diversity, be responsive, competitive, and live in a sustainable world by upholding the above-mentioned core values: makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, at makabansa. The results framework outlines the priorities of DepEd in terms of addressing the immediate and long-term challenges confronting basic education. Pillar 1 on Access intends to address the remaining gaps in participation by expanding learning opportunities of school-aged children and out-of-school youth and adults. Pillar 2 on Equity will focus on addressing the needs of learners in situations of disadvantage. Pillar 3 on Quality is designed to address the quality of education through various strategic means, particularly in curriculum, assessment, learning environment, and upskilling and reskilling of teachers and school leaders. Pillar 4 on resiliency and well-being will focus on building resilience among learners and capacitating them to exercise their rights in a positive learning environment while being aware of their responsibilities as individuals and as members of society. The enabling mechanisms will allow the agency to achieve the results through the right policies and standards, systems and processes, human resource professional development, and partnerships. The BEDP 2030 will be implemented from 2022 to 2030, fully aligned with the SDG 2030. It will have two major phases. Phase 1 from 2022 to 2026, which includes the response to the immediate impacts of COVID-19 on learning and participation, and Phase 2 from 2026 to 2030, which focuses on sustaining the gains and evaluating programs. These are the efforts that the department are doing and will be doing to address the challenges and improve the quality of education. Let us work together to ensure that all Filipino learners have the physical, cognitive, socio-emotional, and moral preparation for civic participation and engagement in post-secondary opportunities in their local, national, and global communities.